Hello everyone. Let's fix my hair. I've just started this a tiny bit early, just to, make sure that everything is good, let everybody join. I'm sure there's still people maybe on a previous stream. I'm still eating a throat sweet because yesterday I realized that talking for a full hour is actually, quite hard on the throat. So I'm preparing. Fine. Hi. Hey, Amy. I am so looking forward to your dad jokes. I'm really here for them. Oh, I love that, Arlene. I would love to be a morning person, but alas, I am not. But whenever I do have to get up early for practical purposes, I recognize that, what you're saying, that, everybody's asleep, nobody's there yet, you get to, really be there with kind of, the weather and nature and stuff, even, in the middle of the city where I am. Yeah, Amy, I have a little bit of dad joke humor as well, and I'm passing it on to my kids. We're all very kind of waits for laughs. That was the joke, kind of thing. Hi, Katja, nice to see you joining again. Hi, Anne, nice to see you too. I love seeing all these names that I recognize. Really, really cool to be hanging out with you all. And also people that I don't know yet, but whose names I recognize from the previous streams from the past few days. Is really cool. All right, so I haven't finished my throat sweet yet. Hi, Anya, nice to see you again too. So I'm gonna start in a minute. Once I've done the throat sweet thing. I might just get rid of it, hopefully. There we go. Hi, Yvonne. Yvonne from Florida. It must be early there as well. Yeah, I've been drinking loads of water, but then I have to keep running to the toilet, so hi, good morning everyone. Good evening for those of you in time zones further east. Why did an old man fall in a well? Because he couldn't see that well. Oh, I really like it. It doesn't make me laugh out loud, but I really like it. I'm oh my god, that's so good. That's so Christmas crackery. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining this Wanderlust Live stream with me, Iris Fritschi-Cussens. I am I have my art thing is called Iris Impressions Art. I am a mixed media artist, art journaler, teacher, vlogger, podcaster, and now also live streamer. So lots of fun stuff. This session we're going to be making sure that I've got the correct window selected. Yes, in this session I am going to be doing some art journaling, and hopefully you'll be art journaling along with me. Really looking forward to it. It's Sunday morning here. I intend this to be a very kind of relaxed, creative, no pressure session, just kind of connecting with your journal, using a limited supply list, so no overwhelm or anything like that. It's just going to be fun, relaxing, and creative. Obviously you're watching this as part of Wanderlust Live. If you are watching this, if you have found this via my YouTube channel and you don't know what Wanderlust Live is, it is a long weekend full of creative sessions, live streams, interviews, inspirational videos, etc., all hosted by Everything Art, who are the creators of Wanderlust, which is a year-long course. So if you want to join Wanderlust Live, if you haven't done so yet, you can do that via the link in the description of this video. And then that will give you access to all of the other sessions as well. There have been loads of great live streams on Friday and Saturday. Obviously that time is in the past, but you can watch all of the catch-up streams, but not right now, because right now you're watching this. And if you are watching this via the Wanderlust classroom, so if you're on the Everything Art website watching this video inside the classroom, and you're wondering why I'm responding to people and you can't see where they are, we are over on the YouTube page. So you'll have to click where it says watch on YouTube or watch live on YouTube, and that will open the page for you, and that will show you the live chat, and you'll be able to participate there. Obviously, if you're watching this on the catch-up, then that won't apply. But if you're watching this live, oh, Finland, that's great, awesome. Singapore, yay! We got like a real great representation of like different locations going on here. Hi, Yolene, really great to see you here. So I think all of these videos are actually going to be available forever, but I'll let Amy confirm that. So let's have a look. So yes, as I said, Wanderlust Live is created by Kasia and Jamie from Everything Art. Amazing course called Wanderlust, which is a year-long course. I'm going to be one of the teachers on Wanderlust. I taught on the 2019 one as well, which was great fun, and I really hope that if you have enjoyed these sessions and this little taster, as it were, I will really hope that you will join us on the year-long course, which will basically be every week a new video. They will be like pre-recorded videos, so they'll be really structured. They will teach you like a specific thing, because Wanderlust is all structured around multiple week periods in which a specific supply is going to be highlighted. So you're going to get several different lessons from different teachers, all showing their approach to using that star supply, which is something that I think is really unique to Wanderlust, and it's something that I really like myself. So that is Wanderlust. It is currently on sale until the 31st of October. It is it's currently $99. It is normally $175. So if this is something that you want to join, then obviously it's great if you sign up by the 31st of October, because you will get like a significant amount of money off. If you would like to support me personally, then please consider using my personal link. It's an affiliate link. It gives me a little bit of support without costing you anything extra. So I'd really appreciate that. It's in the corner. Where is it? It's there. It's in the corner over there. So you can type that in, or you can find a clickable link in the description of this video. Let's have a quick look at the chat. They will be available for at least the rest of the year. So all of these sessions, these videos, these live streams, etc. So that's great. Let's have a look. Oh, the earrings match my apron. Yes. Oh, I love these earrings. They're my Lego earrings, and I love this apron, which is also very colorful, and yeah, they match them. So if you want to grab yourself one of these wonderfully colorful and very important aprons, because I'm one of those people who I have paint on every single pair of like dresses and jumpers that I own, and like my outfits are such a big part of my personality. I never want to like wear some like specific painting clothes that can get dirty, so I'm always wearing my pretty dresses, and I'm like, oh no, I got paint on them. So apron, highly recommend. I think Amy's going to put a link in the chat so that you can know where you can find that. Right, so let's kind of get into the session. So let me first explain a little bit about the kind of the purpose of this session. I already talked about it slightly. So we're going to be doing art journaling with a limited supply list. A limited supply list is so awesome because to me it really addresses that problem of overwhelm. Most of us will have lots and lots of art supplies. We might not have decided what our favorite art supplies are yet. We might not have developed our own style yet. So having a limited supply list really takes away that worry of like, oh, what am I going to use? Like, are these colors going to go together? Am I going to create mud? All of that stuff. Yeah, I can't enthuse enough about a limited supply list. Let me switch my camera, and then I'm going to just quickly run through what I've got in this, according to Tamara, very enviable little caddy. Which is currently mostly full of art journals, actually. Hang on, I just realized I've got top chat enabled rather than I want live chat, because I want to see everything that everybody's saying. Come on. Maybe it doesn't want to do it. All right. Oh, no. Be patient, Iris. Live chat. Okay, cool. Now I can see everything. It looks as if links are not coming through on the chat. It must be some kind of setting from YouTube where, you know, they don't allow links. So for both the course itself and for joining Wanderlust Live, you can find that link in the description of this video / live stream. For the apron, if you go to the Everything Art website, you will be able to find it in their shop over there. And for anything else, I guess Google is your friend. All right, let me switch my camera view to my desk. Okay. Right, so I've got my limited supply list over here. Most of this, the only thing that I decided not to limit, and I really encourage you to do the same, was my art journals. So I've got quite a few art journals here. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, so I've got quite a few art journals, and the reason that I would encourage you to do that is because when you're like working quickly and you're getting into things, sometimes stuff will be wet and you want it to dry, but you don't want to interrupt your creative flow. So at that point in time, you could just like put one journal aside and go on to the next journal. And then come back to it. So there we've got the journals. I'm just going to move them out of the view. There we go. And then what is our supply list? So I encourage you to pick 3 different colors. I have chosen a powder blue, a light magenta, and parchment, which is kind of like an off-white color, and then also white. So 3 colors plus white. That is what we're going to be using in terms of our paints. Now, in terms of the paints that you choose, there is some you can use color theory slightly by picking colors that go well together. I'm not really going to go into it too much because I feel like we haven't really got time, and then I'd just be talking color theory, which is fascinating for the rest of the session. But just be kind of slightly aware of like where your colors are on the color wheel. You don't need this. You can find this online. You can just like look up color theory, color schemes, that kind of stuff. But just pick 3 colors that you just like the look of. And I love these kind of like muted, kind of pastel-y colors, and then this neutral off-white color, and then I always use white as well. That one doesn't count towards the total, you know? Oh, that's good to know. Only a moderator can put in the links. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm not gonna fiddle with it now because I feel like that's just gonna take too much time. We'll just keep going, and what I will do is I will add the links to the description afterwards. Okay, so we've got our paints, and then I'd recommend getting a water-soluble pencil, like a Stabilo All, but if you don't have one of these, you could use a charcoal pencil, which is kind of semi-water-soluble, or you could use like a Neocolor 2 crayon. It doesn't have to be black. Oh yeah, so like I've already touched upon it, but like don't feel like you have to use the same colors as me. Just, you know, whatever calls to you, whatever you like. But if you want to use the same colors as me, then absolutely go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I said on my supply list 3 colored pencils and graphite. So if you can see, I picked some colored pencils that are like kind of similar to the paint that I chose. So I've got that pink paint. I've got a very similar looking pencil Then I've got a fluorescent pencil, and then I've got a slightly contrasting pencil. This is a kind of a turquoise, but that fits in with that blue a little bit more. So it's kind of been semi-deliberate, my choice of pencils, in kind of connecting with those paints that I chose. What's next? A crayon. Oh, this was a difficult one. I didn't know what to choose, but I ended up choosing, because I've got lots of light colors here, I ended up choosing a kind of dark blue crayon. So this is it's a neo pastel. It's like an oil pastel crayon. Then we would like to use a paint pen. I've picked red because I felt like all of these colors here that I chose were quite light, pastel-y, so I wanted to go for something really bold. And then where are we at? Okay, so now we're into the tools, because these are all the supplies that we're going to use. The rest are just tools. So I've picked myself 2 brushes, one very bristly kind of large brush, and one thin round brush with a very soft bristle, so really getting that contrast in there. And then I've also got my key card for doing a bit of scraping, and I've got a brayer for texture. And as you can see, this is a very limited supply list. Like, this fits, it fits into my hands. I can just like hold it all with one or 2 hands, and that's what we like. So I now know that when I start working, I am not going to be using anything other than what I've shown you here, which is super nice and relaxing. I don't have to go and rummage through anything. I mean, it's relaxing from the point of view of a stream that you don't have to wait for me to rummage, but also just from the point of view of like a creative process. You don't have to worry about, I don't know, getting more supplies or getting into some headspace where you're like, oh, what should I use next? You know, it's all just going to be right here to grab. So, I am going to be just playing a little bit. I just want to, like, full disclosure, I didn't prepare, as in like, I never prepare what I'm going to do, by which I mean, I don't plan beforehand what kind of art I'm going to make, what my art's going to look like. I will check just in a minute if this is not going to be too bright to see. It might be a little bit. If you bear with me just a minute, I think because all of this is so white, my camera is going like, oh, it's so bright. So we're going to just blind you all. So I'm just going to adjust the brightness a smidge so that you can see what I'm actually doing. Right, apply. Okay. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, so my first layers are just always just like kind of playing with my supplies, getting some color down. I'm going to show you in a minute some of the journals that I have that just, they are made from things like book pages and leaflets and stuff, and those things already have some stuff on the surface of the pages, which is very kind of comforting. Yeah, that's a really good point, Amy, that having a limited supply list really allows you to get fully involved in your process. Like, you can just be really into what it is that you're doing, and nothing is going to take you out of it. Also, obviously, I'm chatting to you right now, but I also really encourage you to, like, put some music on, that kind of stuff. Right, so this is another one of my journals. I just put the other one away because obviously it's wet, and I want to kind of keep going, keep my hand moving. So this is a journal. Most of the pages actually already have something in it. Like, I've just cleaned my brayer on this, probably did a little sketch, did a little kind of warm-up page. So here I'm just going to start scratching around. So I know I'm moving obviously from page to page at the moment, but at this point in time I'm really in that kind of warming up stage. So I'm not really creating anything specific. I'm just getting my hand moving, kind of getting out of my critical mind, or getting out of my, perfectionist mind of like I want to make something nice or pretty or something specific, just getting my hand moving, which I think is actually really important for engaging with your process. Now, let me know if it's still too bright and I can adjust it. But like, to me, it looks better now. And also, once I start putting on the darker colors, I think that will help make it just look the way it's supposed to. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm just adding some of these colors. I'm alternating between my brayer. Also, I don't know about you, but do you have like a favorite journal? And I don't mean a favorite brand. I just mean like, do you have a journal that you're just like super connected to? Because I often find that happens with me and my journals, that there'll be one particular journal, either a handmade one or like a store-bought one, where I just feel really connected to my process, and all the art that I make in that particular journal just kind of comes out feeling really kind of like authentic and like it belongs to me. I really love that. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to just use my graphite pencil and like scratch into this paint a little bit. And I'll get a little bit of the graphite color, but I'll also get a little bit of like texture of scratching into the wet paint, because this hasn't dried yet. And so, obviously I'm chatting to you at the moment, which is a very different kind of feel of being with my journal by myself, or even like, you know, I watch live streams too, and I watch YouTube videos whilst I'm getting creative, and it's kind of like being kept company, which is again a very different vibe from like, let's say, chatting to a friend, because that's what this is like chatting to a friend. So, you know, there's like different modes of creating. Oh, I'm really loving this. Like, this is making me happy. I'm just gonna put this away because it's quite wet. Carefully put this on the floor without like getting paint on my carpet. Now here I have got a junk journal. So this journal is made out of lots of pages of like books or paper bags or leaflets, envelopes, that kind of stuff. So let's see if I've got here, I've got a nice blank page here. Well, I mean, it's not blank. It's got writing on it, which is great because it's very comforting. I don't have to like worry about what's already on there. As in, like, I don't have to fill the blank page because the page isn't blank. And I do a little bit of this. But I have to say, I really feel a connection to that page that I just did, and I actually feel like I can't wait to get back to that one. Oh yay, Jolene is getting her junk journals out, which is great. I love junk journals. I feel like, I don't know about you, but when I buy a journal from a shop, even if it's a cheap journal, but especially if it's an expensive journal, I get so precious about them, and I just like feel held back. Whereas I have found that when I create my own junk journals out of like throwaway materials, I feel so free. I feel so like, you know, there's nothing in my way, like nothing from inside my brain that stands in my way, and I think that's great. I'm gonna just like doodle a little bit. I'm holding this is my Stabilo All, which is the water-soluble pencil, just holding it at the end because that gives me a lot less control, and it's just gonna make me super loose and not so concerned about the result. Now, I'm gonna activate that a little bit. Now, in a minute, I feel like the burning desire to start doing a little bit of journaling, as in like adding some words, just kind of connecting a little bit to that part of the creative process, expression, that kind of stuff. I really love that. I love adding words both as featured elements, like on top once I'm done with a page, but I also really like hiding lots and lots of words and writing in my art journal kind of just as part of that process, as part of creating such a layered and textured and meaningful page. Yolene, I'm so lucky that my cat is not interested in my art space, so I don't get any of the kind of like the fun pictures of cats sitting on art pages, but then I am also lucky that I don't get my cat sitting on art pages. Alright, so I've grabbed my pencil and I am just going to do some scribble writing. So I'm just going to go quiet because I can't do writing and talking at the same time, understandably. But yeah, so just scribbling anything that's in my head. I don't use punctuation. I don't even stop in between words. I don't put spaces in between words. It's just kind of like raw expression, automatic writing. And I love the way it looks. Now I'm going to grab my what's this called? Paint pen. For some bold lines and maybe a word. Do I want to add a word? Process. That feels like it applies. And then remember how I have this pencil that is almost the same color as my paint, but the way I really like it is because it's the same color but it's a different texture, so it really fits together, but I can use it to create a separate texture from the kind of like smoother paint, so it's really cool. Let's have a quick look at the chat. So Tamara's saying it's fascinating because she becomes precious with her junk journal at some point because she spent time making it versus like something that she just bought, which is such a good point. Like I do feel like sometimes like when I've worked in the junk journal for a while and I like the art that I have done in it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, the next time I work in it, I have to make sure that it's like something that I like doing, or something that I like the result of. So that can create pressure. What you could also do, I guess, is you could make art and then bind it into a journal afterwards, like just the bits that you like. Oh, it's so interesting that some of you say that your bought journals are less precious. Oh, I love hearing that, actually. I love kind of like hearing about the different experiences that people have, that one person's kind of like, one person's obstacle is not an obstacle for someone else, and yet the thing that they find freeing is an obstacle for someone else. I think that's fascinating, and that kind of goes back again to that feeling of, you know, you got to figure these things out for yourself. You got to do and then figure out, this is what it's like for me, you know. The tagline of Iris Impressions art is be a bit more you, because it's like, sure, I can show you how to be me, and you could learn from me, you can get inspired by me, but at the end of the day, you're trying to be you and make the art that is going to come from you. So I love to kind of like enable that rather than like make a bunch of Iris clones. Okay, so I'm liking this. This is such a nice little background now. I'm going to just move on from this, and I'm going to go back to that, that page that I really liked. Well, there we go. It's like, if you have a lack of surfaces, just use the floor. Okay, so I've got this one. I can see it's still a bit wet on this side, but this looks fairly dry. So let's see, what am I going to do? Where are my paints? So I haven't used my white yet. I haven't really felt the need to be honest, but I might do in a bit, because I think I'm gonna do a face. So that is what was in the description of this session as well. I do faces all the time. I find faces fascinating. They never bore me. But I do know that faces, especially if you're a beginner, can feel quite intimidating. But if you are familiar with my art, then let's just see if I can give you an example. Like the type of art that I make, the faces are very imperfect. They are very kind of deliberately wonky. I'm talking about faces. I always do faces, and then I'm showing you a journal that has like hardly any faces in it. So they're deliberately wonky. They are done with a very kind of loose touch. This one's a bit more symmetrical, actually. There are no faces in this journal. Hilarious. Oh, there's one. So they're very deliberately wonky. They're not symmetrical. They are done sometimes with my non-dominant hand, which I think we're going to do in a second because I like the idea. And by kind of giving yourself permission that it's allowed to be wonky, it really takes that fear out of it. At least it does for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Stabilo All, I'm going to hold it in my left hand, which is for me my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to start drawing a face. So I am loosely following some rules of drawing a face. I tend to just start with one of the eyes, like that, and then the next eye I put about one eye width apart from the first eye. Although you can play with that, you can make really weird faces by actually like breaking that rule. Now I'm going to add a typical iris eye, one of those big ones. There we go. Put a bit of a spiral in like that. And I've also, because this is in an art journal, I have actually gone over the seam of the page just to kind of like make sure that I'm using both sides of the page and that it becomes a whole kind of composition rather than just like a face on this side and nothing on that side. See, my paint is still wet. Now, what do I want to do? I now want to start drawing the nose, which I tend to start actually with the eyebrow. There's no space for an eyebrow on here, or well, I could put it on there, but I'm not going to. Put an eyebrow and then go down, and the line that is the nose bridge. And then I put a kind of a circle for a nose at the bottom. See, it's all very kind of like unrealistic, but I love it. Put some nostrils in that are basically something a bit darker, and then from the nose I use that as an anchor point for the mouth. So the mouth is slightly under the nose. I skip a little bit, and then I make this kind of what's like a trapezoid shape, and then a line across it, and then the bottom of the lower lip. Yeah, I mean, that's a face. Like, it looks like a face, even though it also doesn't look like a realistic face. And I love that, because it's like our brains... Oh, I'm doing the outline of the face now, and super wonky, left-handed. It doesn't have to be perfect. But so what I love about our brains is that we are always interpreting what we see, and we're always seeing recognizable objects and recognizable shapes in the things that we see. It's the thing that our brain does. That's the reason that when you see like a house with the windows and the door placed in a certain way, you'll see a face. It's because we're always seeing faces. So you can use that to your advantage, and you can push the boundaries so much on like what is a face. What does your brain interpret as a face? Oh, thank you, Yvonne. That's really nice to hear. Oh, and Katja is saying that she made a junk journal from one of my workshops. That's really cool. I love my junk journals. I think the one I just showed with the word process, that where we did that page, that's my third one. I keep making them. They are super kind of like precious, not precious to me. Like, they're precious to me because of what they mean, but they are so freeing to work in because I don't feel like I don't feel under pressure. So here, look, she's got very like thin hairline, whatever. That's just what she looks like. And yeah, I love her already. This just makes me really excited. Right, so there. And now, what do I want to do? So first of all, I think I'm going to use my little thin brush again, and I'm going to activate some of these lines and just kind of make them a little bit flowy, a little bit kind of watery. I love it. I love the Stabilo for that. Let me know, by the way, are you working along? Are you art journaling? Are you doing a face, a quirky face, or are you doing something else? Arlene, I'm exactly the same. I'm always seeing faces in screws, in light fixtures, in I don't know. And I have a friend who literally carries around googly eyes. And then she goes around and she puts googly eyes on stuff, and I think it's so funny. She put some googly eyes above one of my light switches, so now it looks at you when you're turning on the light. She put some googly eyes on my home dock, so that's now staring at you with googly eyes. It's yeah. So whenever I film my cat, because my cat is obviously a character in my videos, she doesn't do anything. She'll be being really funny or playful or something. I mean, she's old, so she's not that playful, but she'll be being playful or doing something funny, and then I put the camera on her, and then she's the most boring cat. So on my videos, it looks as if I have a really boring cat, and then in reality, she's slightly less boring. It's funny. Oh, great. You're drawing a face with your non-dominant hand, Katja. That is so good to hear. It's funny, I do a lot of art, and then I also do a lot of not doing art because I get busy or I get intimidated or get perfectionist. My perfectionist starts running rampant. But then I'm doing something like this, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's such a great technique. That's such a great way of loosening up. And also, when I was watching Kasha's session yesterday, the warm-up session, I think it was, where she says, use a brush with a really long handle, and then hold the handle at the end, and then draw a face. That is another really great way of loosening up and of letting go of control and stuff, and I really love it. And I kind of have to make a little list so that I can put in front of me in my art space or something, so I can remember to do all of these things so I don't get so stuck. Oh, Yvonne, you want to draw a face. I'm glad that I'm glad that I'm making you interested in drawing a face, because I do know that a lot of people don't draw faces because it is intimidating. I mean, I don't know if that applies to you, but I do know that it applies to quite a lot of people. Okay, so I've grabbed my white now. I'm just going to be putting in some highlights. So I'm going to put highlights here on the nose bridge, on the nose, here on the chin, a little bit here on the neck area, tiny bit under the eyes, and then here inside the whites of the eyes, obviously. And I like to make the big eyes that I do, I like to make them a bit white as well, so that they really stand out. It's funny because when you said you love the googly eyes, Amy, I thought, well, that fits into the kind of same vibe as liking dad jokes. So I love that you followed it up straight away with a dad joke. Excellent. Yeah, it's we have high expectations of our dominant hand. The dominant hand is the thing that's supposed to do everything with ease. And then, especially if you are learning a new skill, like drawing or painting or art of any kind, you're kind of come on, dominant hand, you've not let me down before. Why am I disappointed with what you're doing right now? Why isn't it the way that I want it to be, or the way I see it in my mind's eye? And using your non-dominant hand is a great way of kind of letting go of that pressure. All right, so we've got approximately 22 minutes left. So I'm going to stick with this page now so that I can actually really show you my process of kind of I can't promise you that I'll finish this, but I do, my process is quite quick. I do tend to spend only about like, I don't know, of this size, I tend to only spend about half an hour or an hour on a page, and I don't tend to come back to them, not usually. So what you see me now, I'm just filling some stuff in with my paint pen. I'm doing some scratching. I'm really not thinking about it very much. I was thinking about the chat and the dad jokes, actually. Hi, C. Thank you for joining us from Wisconsin in the USA. You're doing a face with your non-dominant hand. Oh, you're adopting a 6-year-old cat. Oh, that's great. Well done you for adopting. That's great. I really hope it works out really well and your cat's going to be really happy in their new home. Right, so what do I want to do with this face? Like, it looks like a face, but I feel like I need a bit more. Okay, so let's do some cheeks. I'm going to do some bright pink cheeks. And then, what about these eyes? I'm going to do a little bit of pencil in the eye. I do like to sometimes do a kind of a red nose like that. I can fill in this upper lip with my red pen, and maybe like a kind of a squiggly outline of this. And now, what am I going to do now? A bit more of this pink maybe. And I'm going to use my my bristly brush to kind of push this paint around a little bit. Make it kind of grungy, imperfect. The bits that are still wet, they all kind of like merge into each other a bit. That mouth is pink as well. And then I'm going to come back with my parchment and push all of this pink in the background. And also, like, don't get too attached to what you've already done. Like if you feel like, oh, I'm going to put this on top now and it's going to get rid of that layer that I already did, like, don't worry too much about it. You know, that all of it shines through in the end. You know, I'm making a mess right now because I'm not waiting for things to be dry. But I'm going to use that to my advantage, actually. I am going to now smush this a bit more. And then I'm going to grab my brayer, which has got stuck to something, and I'm going to just literally go over everything with my brayer to create that texture in all of the paint that I've done before. Nice texture. Starting to look really interesting. It's hard to see on camera, but this is the texture of this and the kind of the colors and the color shining through from the previous layers. It's, you know, it's very yummy. Right, where do I want to take this? Bit of outlining with my pencil. I'm thinking now, like, I'm lacking a little bit of like a darker contrasting color, although I do still have that dark blue crayon, so I might be able to do something interesting with that. Oh, hi, Christina has joined from Buenos Aires. I can't pronounce that, forgive me. I'm so glad you're here. That's really cool. Thanks for checking into the stream. Oh, Lisa, that's so great to know that this is giving you some freedom to draw things. I definitely came from a kind of like, when I first started with art, all the teachers that I followed made very pretty and symmetrical and kind of like perfect art. And I really admired it, and I really wanted my art to look like that too. And at a certain point, after taking lots of lessons, I was able to make pretty symmetrical art, but I found that it just like gave me anxiety or something. I don't know, it really triggered my perfectionist self, and I didn't like that. And that's kind of how I developed this style of being much more slapdash and being much more imperfect with things deliberately, because it just made me happy. And then it kind of led to art that I also liked in a different way from the kind of the smooth perfect art, but that felt really kind of like close to me. It felt really I don't know, like it belonged to me. So I've really enjoyed discovering that, and it's something that I'm sure it doesn't work for everyone that way, because some people just like want to do it in a different way. But if I can kind of expose people to this way of doing things, and then they go like, oh yeah, like I want to try that, or like that really works for me, then I'll be really happy if that happens. So where are we at? What do I want to do? So let's put in a tiny bit more kind of highlights, because obviously all the colors I've used are super kind of like pastel-y and light, so I need to kind of go even lighter on my highlights so that there's a little bit of contrast. I mean, this page is not having a lot of contrast. I think the most contrasting bits are the red. I'm thinking maybe I want to put something here. Maybe I want to put some word here or something. I'll think about it. So let's use, do I want to use this here for the hair? I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't quite committed. So this is my oil pastel. I'm gonna just use it for some darker lines here, and then I don't know, I think I want to use this one here for some scratchy kind of contrast to make the face stand out a bit more. And now I feel like I want to bring this color into here. So my paint is all still very wet, and I've used that, what do you call it? The oil pastel, and now I can scratch into it slightly. Coming back in, I brayered over and painted over the pink cheeks, so I can bring them back now. There we go. Let's go in with some more white here above the eye, and then can put in a proper dark pupil here. That always makes the eyes really pop. And then I can put some of the white highlight in the eye, and then whiten out the eye whites again, just to make everything pop a little bit more. And again, I'm not coloring in the lines, it's just super super slapdash kind of. There we go. And also it's kind of like, in a way, by having picked this minimal limited supply list, I also it's kind of like telling me, like, don't worry. Like, there's part of me that now goes like, oh, I wish I had another color, but it's like, well, no, this is going to stay this way because I don't have the opportunity to pick that other color, and it's going to just create art that I wouldn't have normally created, because I am kind of deliberately restricting myself. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen it, Amy posted a picture, or it was a video of herself and her cat Janice, both in their pajamas, and I urge you to go and find it on the Everything Art Instagram. It is brilliant. Oh, so Christina Bonfire Art is saying that one of her favorite techniques is to draw faces without getting into perfectionism, is to draw a face in one line. Yeah, that's a super good technique as well, because it's like you can't lift your pen or pencil from the paper, and it makes you kind of like use all of those lines as part of the face, and it gives you some really cool results. Thanks for checking into this stream, Anya. Really nice to see you. Enjoy your lunch. I feel like I want to do something. Maybe like here. I want to add a word, maybe. I feel like I want to move this into the background a little bit. So I'm going to just brayer a little bit of white. Let's see. Brayering a bit of white so that it's kind of pushing all of this nice yummy texture into the background, but because I'm using this this paint, it's heavy body acrylic, but it's not super opaque, so I actually still really see all of the layers that are underneath it, and that's something that I was talking about yesterday in my live stream, which was all about like playing with your supplies. It's like, it's really helpful to start noticing like, oh, that's the paint that is really opaque, so if I put that on there, then it's going to cover everything. Oh, but that paint is like much more translucent, so you can start building up that knowledge and then using it to your advantage. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you find this inspiring, Sally. I'm really glad to introduce you to this kind of I always call it lazy, because it's like I know it's not really lazy, it's just like kind of going with letting go of something that we are taught a lot. Like, we're taught a lot to care about things being good and pretty and making sense and that kind of thing. So if you want to do stuff like this, then you really do have to deliberately make it happen, because kind of like our impulse is most of the time going to be to go the opposite way. And let's have a look. Drawing baby chickens for 10 seconds using a line drawing. That's so good. Giving yourself a time limit is also such a good way of improving, developing muscle memory, and letting go of perfectionism, because like, it's out of your hands. The timer is gonna go. You better move on, kind of thing. It's really great. I really recommend it. Some journaling and then brayering, and then adding a word. That is quite cool as well. I might actually just like go back in with this graphite pencil, or what about this one? I might just do both. Let's have a look. Bit of scribble journaling. Right, and then going back over it with a tiny bit of that white paint again, and my brayer. I haven't cleaned my brayer in so long. It's like it keeps sticking, like it keeps getting stuck, and I won't go over things. I really have to clean it after this, otherwise it won't rotate anymore. What about a tiny bit more of that blue paint, because I started with that and now it's kind of got a bit lost. So let's do that. This blue paint is slightly more opaque than my white. And then maybe a bit of white here. And I love the way that, like, so that whole background is still shining through. So I can see the turquoise pencil here. I can see the pink pencil. It's also almost kind of like doing a resist technique. And then that red pen that was there. Yeah, more is more. Like, I like working fast, but I also like working with lots and lots of layers and to just kind of keep putting things on top of each other. Right, so I think what I really would like to do is I would like to write with this brush, and I think I'm going to just like lift some of the black off of my Stabilo All pencil and just go put it onto my wet brush. And then I need to just think of a word to write. Let me just read the chats for inspiration. Luann is saying that their face turned into a man with a beard and a moustache. Yeah, that happens. Cool. Right, what word shall I use? What about, what did I do? Process earlier, that was good. What about let go? Well, no, it's not really appealing to me. What about the one for my video? It was like it was something like being here now or something, or I don't remember, but I'm going with it. Because it's a great message to self. And I like how this is all kind of like slightly messy, kind of getting in with the stuff that's underneath. There we go. Oh, limitless is a great word as well. Oh, putting your brayer in a Ziploc with alcohol, like you mean like like rubbing alcohol? How much? I'm interested. That would be a good little technique to try. What else? So how long have we got left? We've got only about 6 minutes left, so Tamara's trolling me. Why is the cow always smiling? It's in a good mood. Love it. Love a good cow joke. Let's see. I'm gonna just do a little bit more kind of scratching with my different colors. Also, like, you can notice things when you are working with your limited supplies in terms of like, oh, what would you do differently next time? It might give you inspiration as to what you want to choose next time. Like, oh, I'll definitely choose, you know, that and that again, but next time I'd like, you know, another color of paint. Or like, I mean, my idea is like, I didn't really like this, it's too purple, this crayon. So that was kind of bothering me. But that's all good information for next time. You know, that isn't, you know, it's always just building up your knowledge and repertoire. A little bit more, bringing this back. And then I think I want to also repeat this, this red kind of here a little bit, here, under the word here. So you can always think about repetition as well. Like when you are using something at one point of the page, you can also use it somewhere else. And interesting. Oh, I didn't realize I could do this before. So that was my my paint pen. But then as soon, because paint pens obviously are permanent when dry, at least usually if they're acrylic paint pens. But when they're still wet, you can go in with some water and fan them out like this. Cool. And here, this is all like getting caught into that really yummy texture that we created before. So I'm gonna leave it here. I might, after the stream, I might do a little bit more on it. Let me switch back to my full camera view. So thank you so much for joining this stream. As mentioned before, this is obviously part of Wanderlust Live, which is showing you some teachers and letting you get to know the type of content that will be on Wanderlust, the year-long course. Which is it's mixed media and art journaling, weekly lessons, different teachers, different star supplies, lots of techniques, lots of ideas, lots of inspiration, and lots of encouragement as well to stay creative and to keep you know, digging into your own kind of art practice more. and it's currently on sale. It is you can sign up for only $99, and the usual price is $175, so that's a pretty hefty discount. And if you'd like to sign up, you can use my personal affiliate link, which is a small way to support me. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You can find that link in the description below. Let's have a quick final look at the comments. So Arlene's recommendation for cleaning a brayer, she's saying just enough alcohol to cover the roller, and that will loosen the, and then putting it in a Ziploc bag, and that will loosen the paint, I think. Yes, peeling the paint from the brayer is actually quite hard going on your hands and your nails, so that's a great idea. I'm going to try that out. Interesting. So Tamara's saying that she feels that this is a raw piece, but it also has a lot of softness. Yes, I agree. Like, I think it's like the baby blue and the baby pink, very interesting. But then also like the bright red kind of gives something a little bit more, that rawness, I think. You know, I don't know. Everybody can have their own interpretation. I'm really glad you liked the stream. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you had a nice little creative time, and that it got you creatively inspired. I feel super creatively inspired. I feel like I want to like just keep going, and I think that's that's really cool. All right, thank you so much. I hope you had a good time. Wishing you a super creative rest of the day. There's loads of other sessions on Wanderlust Live today, so yeah, wishing you a super creative rest of your Sunday.